Hey y'all, welcome to Friday's Kitchen. Welcome back if you have been here before. In today's video, we are making a gingerbread pound cake. If you guys are interested in seeing how I made it, stay tuned. Also, while you're here, I ask that you please take a moment, look down below, consider pressing that subscribe button, join our family, and come back for some more recipes. We have the ingredients for the cake. Up first, we have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. We have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Everything has been sifted together. Here we have 2 cups of brown sugar, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 5 eggs at room temperature, 3 sticks of unsalted butter at room temperature. We have 1/2 cup of molasses, 1/2 cup of buttermilk at room temperature, and we'll be using 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. We started by preheating the oven to 300 degrees. In the bowl, we have the butter. I'm going to turn the mixer on, and then I'm going to add the sugars. Once I add the sugars, I'm going to let the mixer run for 5 to 10 minutes until the mixture becomes nice and fluffy. I'm just scraping down the sides and bottom of the bowl. Then we're going to go in with the eggs one at a time. Once I add an egg, I like to wait for the yolk to break before adding the next. And we'll follow that up with the vanilla extract. So for anyone wondering why I use 5 eggs in this recipe when I typically use 6, it is because these eggs were really large and I didn't think 6 were needed. So I'm scraping down the sides and bottom of the bowl again, and then we're going to go in, gradually add our flour mixture. And we're going to alternate the flour mixture with the molasses and the buttermilk. Just scraping down the sides and bottom of the bowl one last time. Then we're going to turn the mixer back on for a few seconds, and our cake batter will be done. All right, so let me grab the cake pan and we'll be right back. Here we have the pan we're going to use to bake the cake. I get a lot of questions about it. I'll link it down below in the description box of this video. We are going to coat the pan with butter and sugar, and that is what's going to keep our cake from sticking to the pan as it bakes. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with a couple tablespoons of granulated sugar. And now we're just gonna coat the pan. All right, so now the pan is completely coated. Let me get rid of any loose sugars that may be inside. All right, so now we are just going to go in with the cake batter. I already know this is gonna smell amazing as it bakes. And I will say that ground cloves is typically used when making gingerbread. I personally am not a huge fan of it, so I opted not to include it in this recipe, but if you guys decide to make this, you can do your own research and make any changes that you like. All right, so again, the oven has been preheated to 300 degrees. This will bake for about an hour and a half to an hour 40. I'll adjust that time as needed, but as always, I'll let you guys know exactly how long it takes in my oven when I remove it. Here's the cake after 1 hour, 40 minutes in the oven. We're gonna let it hang out in the pan for about 15 minutes, and then I'll be back to turn it out onto a cake board. Smells so good. So now we're going to turn this out onto a cake board. I want this side of the cake to be right side up, so I'm going to flip it over once onto a plate and then back over onto the cake board. We are going to leave this here to cool, and then we'll be back to finish it. So the cake is now cooled. Here I have some marshmallow cream. I'm going to spread this on top of the cake. Here I have some white sanding sugar. I'm just going to open this and sprinkle some on top of the cake. This is just to give it a little sparkle. And then to give it a pop of color, I'm going to add a few of these red sprinkles. And finally, we have some of these Stouffer's iced gingerbread cookies. I'm just going to place some on top of the cake. This is what they look like. And this looks like a little ribbon, almost like a little bow tie. So I'm just gonna go in with this red writing gel and kind of fill that in so we'll have a pop of red on the cookies as well. Alright guys, so give me just a second. I'll bring you in for a closer shot. This cake will actually be eaten at Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to cut it just now, but I'll try to remember to get a shot of the inside of it once we cut it tomorrow. We've made it to the end of the video. Here we have our finished product, our gingerbread pound cake. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions about anything I've done, leave them down below in the comment section. I really enjoyed this cake. I love all the warm spices that come through. So if you guys are a fan of gingerbread, I would highly recommend you give this recipe a try. Again, we didn't cut this cake until Thanksgiving the next day, and by then I thought that the cookies on top would have gotten soft, but they were still pretty crunchy. So you'll see in the next shot where we cut the cake, it wasn't as clean of a cut as you would typically see in my videos, but we enjoyed the cake nonetheless. While you guys are here, I ask that you please take a moment, look down below, consider pressing that subscribe button, join our family, come back for some more recipes. As always, I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.